Tuesday, September 3rd. Jordan, would you start us off with a roll call, please?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Foberg.
Present.
Liebelt.
Present.
Ward.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold.
Present.
Langer. Norvstrup.
Present.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. First order of business will be to approve this week's agenda as printed. I would take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Norvstrup, second Reinbold. Anyone from the council have anything on any of these agenda items? Jordan, are actually all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next is our approval of last week's meeting minutes from August 26th. I would take a motion to approve those minutes.
Move to approve.
Second. Got a motion from Councilwoman Liebelt and a second from Councilman Ward. Does anyone from the council have any points of discussion as it relates to these minutes? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
No one has signed up to speak for the open forum, so our consent calendar will be next. We've got 4 items of routine city business, including setting a public hearing date and a bid date, a single community event permit, and a single street trail use request.
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Ronayne. Anyone have anything to discuss? All right, nice and easy. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Welcome, Councilwoman Langer. No old business to discuss here tonight, so our first item of new business is a public hearing on a special one-day retail on-sale liquor license for the Unity of Life, doing business as Stella Maris, for an event taking place on October 5th at the Sacred Heart Parish Hall. No one here to speak of on behalf or against that item. It doesn't look as though, so if someone from the council were interested, they could make a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilwoman Liebelt. Anyone from the council have anything? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we've got our public hearing on our city 2025 budget and possible first reading of an ordinance titled 240901, which is the appropriations ordinance. We've got either Robin or Jordan to kick this thing off.
I'll start it out. We talked about the initial budget back in August at the beginning of, August 5th, I believe, and then we did the work session a week later. You've had a chance to see what staff's priorities are, and I hope they match up with what the council sees as priorities for the community in the next year. You also will see by that council action request form that Jordan has found a couple things that need to be tweaked, and he'll walk us through those here in a second. One item that is not totally ironed out is the promotion fund. What we would propose to do is to come back to you with a resolution probably for the second reading when you're acting on the second reading of this, so that you'll have a chance to iron out the actual allocations for all the different entities. We will want to be able to send out letters to them to let them know what to plan for next year. So we'll have to iron that out here fairly soon. But with the spreadsheet that we have, that you've all seen, and seen where the general allocations are at, I guess in that spirit, we'll try to develop an overall resolution that will give us allocations in that general range. And with that, I will turn it over to Jordan to let him walk you through the requested changes from what you've seen from the original document.
Sure. So I'll briefly describe the changes that we've made since this document was first distributed on August 5th. It largely transfers between different expenditure codes that accomplish the same thing, but it's something that I have to do to be compliant with codified law. So within the governmental funds, you'll see a number of adjustments between transfers in and some activity. There is no net effect within the governmental funds. So you'll see the general fund, there is a $142,000 increase in one category, a decrease in other, they offset. Promotion fund, $200,000 was within a transfer out. We've transferred it to expense, which will be set within the resolution that Robin's describing, that particular budget for the promotion fund. Moving along to the next governmental fund, the Moccasin Creek Project Fund, I had put it in a expense category, but this is simply moving it to a different expense category. Same thing with Parks and Rec, that $655, the expense is still there, just a different category. And within the TIF 39 project fund, it's a large number, 1.5 million, moving from one expense category to another. No change in anything that we're doing. Within the sewer fund, I had miscoded an item as a transfer, as a other financing source. It should be a transfer in. They are both 3 nines within my purposes, so just a minor slide in what I was doing. Within the Parks and Rec Enterprise Fund and the Golf Fund, though, those are the two adjustments that I am proposing. Within the Enterprise Fund, transfer out of $130,000 from existing enterprise revenues. That was missed in the proposal that was distributed. And within the Golf Fund, a transfer out as well of $25,000. Those are part of an ongoing administrative transfer from those funds to the general fund. Enterprise funds pay a 5% administrative fee, and that is what we're accomplishing here. So those are the adjustments that I've included with my council action request. I did have a brief note prepared. We did publish a summary budget on August 15th, subsequent to this advertisement, and included within first reading of Ordinance 240901. There were several adjustments that were distributed within the council packet. I just went over them. The increase is $155,000 to enterprise funds. It is an increase. This increases the draft budget from $136,035,600 to $136,190,600. Staff recommends the approval of the amended budget proposal as distributed within the City Council agenda packet and provided for within Ordinance 240901.
One thing also that I did want to mention, it's a lot of numbers to digest. I can appreciate it a lot more now than I did a year ago, and it's just a lot of information to process at one time. So if you have any questions, Jordan is more than prepared to answer them. So go ahead and fire away.
Quiet from the council. Anyone have any particular questions as it relates to this budget ordinance? Or any of the changes that Jordan outlined moments ago? All right. Well, if someone was so inclined, they could make a motion for the first reading of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
I do have a motion from Councilman Ward and a second from Councilman Ronayne. Any other discussion to be had as it relates to the ordinance and or the particular changes that we've run through?
Yeah, maybe I assume, Jordan, that those changes are incorporated in the proposed ordinance.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
The changes largely they don't affect the fund balance because it's a reclassification of expense from one expense category to another. So it's provided for, just a minor accounting change.
With the exception of the PRF and the golf.
That's correct.
All right, if there's no further discussion, then that makes this pretty easy. Jordan, would you go ahead with the roll call on the first reading of this ordinance?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer, Norvstrup,
Aye.
Councilmember Langer, Councilmember Langer,
Tiffany, are you?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Now we can, yes. Thank you.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye. Motion does carry. Next, we've got our possible approval of a payment to Trend Hunter Incorporated for 6 Futurist U Masterclass in the amount of $54,000. I know there's been some discussion about this, so Robin, why don't you outline the positives and negatives as it relates to this course?
So Amber and I will tag team this one as well. Bottom line is that we did want to assure everybody that there's grant funding for this process. This is not an out-of-pocket city process at this point, and I think that's part of the discussion is why are we spending this kind of money? One of the things that occurred to me was this is very timely. We've seen some trends that we are not liking at this point, and we're wanting to look toward the future to see how we can reverse some of these trends, or at least mitigate some of the things that have happened recently. If you look back at what happened when Control Data moved their operations, and when Sheldon moved their operations, CART was part of the process. The Community Action Response Team, that's the process, or that's how the community responded. This is kind of the same type of thing, and we want to make sure that we're proactive in trying to meet the demands of what's going to happen in the future. And so I'll have Amber go through some of the thoughts that she had, but we wanted to make sure that people knew that this is really trying to be proactive and try to keep the community moving in a unified direction moving forward, using a lot of collaborative efforts here. So, Amber?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I think Robin said it best. But the main thing to emphasize here is the funding is coming through organizations through grants. So it is not funded through taxpayer dollars. A proposal was put through from the city to have a unified community collaboration and really be proactive in responses to the community trends that we were seeing. We had some great community need assessment surveys that came out this year, and I think now more than ever we need to grab the bull by the horns and move forward and do some positive action and get this momentum going in our community. So that's what this is for. It's training, it's a master class. We will come back ready to take action. Any questions from anyone?
Go ahead, Councilman Ronayne.
I'm curious where the funding is, the source of the funding.
So there's 2 foundation groups that are bringing the funding forward. I will be able to announce them in about 1 week. But it's amazing that they're coming forward. They do a lot of great work in our community. So I don't think it'll be any surprise, but they're 2 organizations out of Aberdeen.
Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification, Amber, and genuinely appreciate you spending the time and energy to pursue some of these grant opportunities. I know it's something that we've had some discussions on, and it's good to see them coming to fruition. So nice work with that. Hopefully you're able to glean quite a bit from this Futurist Masterclass. Any questions from the council for our city manager or our city economic development officer?
I have a
Management
question.
officer? Go ahead, Charlotte.
Where will this be held? Will it be locally and Zoomed, or will it be out of the area?
It is in Toronto, so we will be going to Toronto for the sessions. It's an interactive session. They actually call it an unconference because you bring members of your community and you actually work together throughout the week in this training and in this class.
And what about the sundry figures for transportation and
So the other members that have been identified will provide their own transportation and their own cost throughout their organizations.
So no charges to the city.
Correct, for those 4. The 2 members of the cities that from the city that will be going will be using our funds, but they're funds out of our travel budget that's already there. So not any additional funding.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that question. And thank you, Amber. Any other questions as it relates to Justin? What have you got?
Will we be given a report or an email on what you guys learn at the class or find out?
Great question. So this is actually a large part of this, the facilitation of communication and collaboration to the community. So we will actually be holding sessions after we come back to explain what we learned and how we want to move things forward with the initiatives that we bring there.
Thank
So
you.
yes,
Great. Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, so I'll need a motion to make that.
Approve.
Second.
Would you give us a roll call vote?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Abstain.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Thanks for joining us tonight, Amber.
Thank you.
Next, we've got our possible approval of South Dakota Department of Transportation Funding Agreement, Section 5339, as well as an amendment to revise the period of performance and 2 times over. Rich, what can you tell us about this grant agreement?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We need to extend the period of performance on these 2 grants by 1 year to pay for buses that have already been ordered. So it would be Section 5339, Funding Agreement 812163, Amendment Number 1, and Agreement Number 812087. That would extend the period of performance from October 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2024 to October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2025.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Ronayne. Appreciate that description. Rich, is there anyone that has any questions for our Transportation Director, Mr. Crokin? Pretty self-explanatory. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote then, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you for joining us tonight, Rich. Next, we've got a review and approval of our claims and payroll. Our bills are for this week, of course, but the payroll is for the period of August 25th through September 7th. Take a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Ronayne, second Reinbold. Any discussion to be had before we take our vote? Jordan.
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries on that. Next, we've got our city manager's report. Robin, what have you got for us this evening?
You know, I'm going to give you a break today and give you the day off from a report. I will have some things for you the next meeting, but this one I'm going to let you have the night off.
Sounds good. I appreciate that. We did have a community safety meeting this morning, and I had an opportunity to visit with Police Chief McNeil. So if there's no objections to that, I would, if he could maybe just share some of the discussion that was to be had, because I think that there was a number of folks that were concerned in how that went and the topic at hand. Chief, would you mind just giving us the 500-foot version of our community safety meeting this morning?
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm passing around some notes that I made from the meeting and a few things that we've identified that we can do to make a difference in this area. So over the last few weeks and maybe months, we've received some concerns from residents living on South Lincoln in that area, primarily south of 12th Avenue or 11th Avenue. And we were able to make some connections with the residents down there, and it came together really well, where some citizens agreed to kind of put together a community meeting where we could meet with them and listen to them and kind of identify what primarily are the concerns down there. So in attendance, our city manager was there, Councilman Norstrup was there as well. And through the course of this meeting, it was really good interaction. It was good to hear the input and things that people are seeing down there. So the concerns we identified from this meeting, there's some traffic violations down there and speeding in the area. So sometimes it's witnessed as maybe some higher levels of speeding. There was a concern about loud music emanating from vehicles. We do have an ordinance that prohibits that. There were several concerns addressed with an apartment complex in the area, specifically code violations, noise violations, and possible criminality occurring in the apartment complex that they were concerned with. So after hearing some of these things and trying to get a good understanding, we've identified things or actions that we're going to take to hopefully make an improvement down there and make a difference. So we're going to put a speed board down there as a deterrent. A speed board usually works two different ways. It deters people from speeding, but at the same time it gathers data. So we're going to gather some data down there to try to ascertain, the speeds, the times of day that maybe those things are occurring. We're going to have some daily directed patrols in the area. Each day we're going to have officers assigned that are going to work that area and have some visibility and hopefully make a difference in the speeding and traffic violation problem. We're going to work with our code enforcement. I haven't had an opportunity to explain to them yet the concerns, but we're going to look at it through the lens of code enforcement on some things that we can maybe do for the apartment. Then we're going to have an officer go door to door. I know a lot of people couldn't make the meeting today. A lot of people are working, and we're going to go door to door in that area down there and try to connect with people and introduce ourselves and try to get more input and determine if there are more concerns and let people know that we're going to work on that. And then lastly, we're going to try to identify and meet with the owners and managers of the apartment complex to address the issues and concerns. And hopefully they would be receptive to some of the things that are occurring down there and work with us to make a difference. And then in about a month, we're going to meet again and we're going to determine if we've made a difference down there, and we're going to learn about our progress, improvements, and any continued concerns. So those are some things that we identify in a very positive and successful meeting, in my opinion. Not too long after the meeting, I fielded a few concerns, and I think this has a tie-in to something that was nationally reported last week. So last week, it was reported nationally and widespread that there was an armed Venezuelan gang terrorizing an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, and I attached a link to that story. And people were wondering if this had some similarity, if there was something related to this particular story that was nationally reported again in Colorado. I just want to emphatically state that's not the case. We don't have any concerns of an armed gang that are driving around randomly firing guns or terrorizing people in apartments. So I just want to make that clear, but I appreciate the feedback and input and people's willingness to call me to find out really the scope of the problem down there. So we really want to kind of alleviate that fear, and we don't have that type of problem in Aberdeen. We did have some incidents that have occurred in the area. One last week, there was a report of some gunshots, and we're able to determine and be fairly positive that the gunshot that people heard on the 26th of August, probably around 10:30 at night, actually was a firework. It was a large firework tube or artillery tube, and that was at the intersection of 12th and South State Street. So I believe that was what they heard that particular night. And then for your awareness, I added the two incidents that we did have where there actually was gunfire specifically related to incidents, one last October and then one in February this year, where we did make contact with people and we did make arrests, and we basically resolved those situations. So I'm confident that we can make a difference down there. And again, the input and people coming forward and telling us about their concerns, and that makes a difference. And we're going to go to work and see if we can help. So with that, Robin or Mr. Norstrup, any comments or thoughts or ideas? And I think I had somebody from the audience as well, too, that attended. So thank you.
David, anything?
No, I think he covered it well.
Well, I appreciate your proactive effort in this issue. Chief, I know that sometimes rumors can really run rampant, especially when there's issues like that, so much uncertainty in the air, and I appreciate you having brought the facts to discuss here tonight. So thank you for meeting with our residents and clearing the air of these rumors. Appreciate that. Anyone have anything? We do have an executive session to talk about some contractual matters. So if the council has nothing else for our regular meeting, we take a
Mayor?
moment. Go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you.
Johnson.
Wonder if we could get one more report on the South Main project and the evolution there. Thank you.
Thanks.
I
So,
thought that was done. It's not completed yet, right?
yeah, if you believe my report from last week, should be done. There's been a little bit more work that needed to be done to kind of get ready to pave, and now, of course, that we're getting very close to the end of that work. There's conflict with the paving subcontractor, and they are out of town basically for the rest of the week. So we're anticipating Monday, Tuesday next week to see the pavement go down, and our city crews will be in there shortly after that to do the striping. So I would hope by midweek next week we should be in a pretty good position to have it open back up, or at least very close to that.
Thank you for that.
Appreciate the question, Councilman Johnson. I appreciate your response, Stu. We will we'll keep our eyes on that road. I know that there's been a heck of a lot of community question as it relates to that timeline. All right, so I would just take a few moments, clear the gallery for a bit, and then we will take a motion to move to executive session in a few moments.
Say yours. Oh.